All right, while the guys are getting the computer up to speed, I will start by presenting the team. We started out being 6 people, but one guy left us Saturday morning, so now we're 5 left. Well, the game started out just being a great idea of doing something with drinking Friday evening, and we spent most of Friday just trying to figure out how the game should work. And the basis was that it should be a party game in the same kind of style as Buzz or some of the other party games out there. And we wanted to include drinking because it's definitely a part of Nordic culture that everybody knows about, but nobody makes games out of. So that was important for us. Well, the basis of the game is that you should, of course, drink beer while you play. We're not going to do that here, but that is one of the goals of the game, or to have fun and maybe get drunk while you play it. But the drunkenness also plays a very large part of the game itself, where the mini games that you play during the game gets harder the more drunk your character gets, and the game ends when everybody except one has been drunk under the table. And that's one way to end the game. There's also a different, that was also in essence a different way to end the game because it didn't get implemented, but when you get to a certain level of drunkenness, you will begin to party around. And if you can keep up the partying for some time, then you will win the game, because you will pick up a girl in the bar and she will take you home, and then you will definitely win the game. So there are those 2 ways of winning. It can be played with one hand, using only the mouse. That's the only control that's there. We're still waiting for it to rock and roll up there.
Yeah, well, we had an idea using a webcam, evaluating how much alcohol each player drank. Well, right now the tool that evaluates how much each player drinks is actually the players, but they still need to put in the data to the game, because the game still needs to have a drunkenness variable for each player to make the games harder. Yeah.
Yeah, the webcam was actually one of the more interesting ideas for the game, that you would measure how much was in the glass that gets passed around. But the code ended up not working.
Yeah, actually with the webcam it would be an interesting game that challenges our way to use computers in everyday life and so on. But right now it's just a collection of mini games. So just imagine the webcam.
Okay, we used Flash to make the game, and that turned out to be a challenge, because none of us had used Flash before, so we had to learn that from scratch. But it ended up working all right. But it gave us some trouble with some of the more advanced things that we wanted to do with the game. But as you see, it's just blue screen now. What else is there to say? Do you have any questions up there, except for the fact that you wanted to see the game?
We actually made a game.
Yeah, we hope.
Yeah!
Here we go. So this is the part of the game where before each mini game starts, you have to bet an amount of beer on whether you manage to win that mini game or not. And if you don't win the mini game, you have to drink that much beer, the amount of beer that's in the glass. So you have to economize whether you want to bet hard or bet small. And if you win the mini game, then the beer in the glass will get passed on to the next player, and so on until the glass is full. At which point all the other players, if you win if you win your mini game, when the glass is full, all the other players will have to share what's in the glass and drink that amount of beer. So everybody gets more drunk as we play along. Just start up the game. And here you can see you select how many players that's there. Right now only 3 players fits on the screen. The other players are outside of the screen if you select 4 or 5. And each player takes turns in doing the mini games. And here we bet a large amount of beer, or not as much. This mini game requires you to be in the toilet bowl and fill up the meter to your left. And if you fill up the meter, or if you run out of pee, then when you run out of pee, it's determined whether you filled up the meter, and then you will win. And right now there are 5 mini games in there. There's a dart game, there's this peeing game, there are some a trivia game and something like that. So we wanted to display the different types of mini games that you could do there. But all of them has some relation to the fact that you're in the bar. And if you noticed at the start of when you started the game, you could select when you wanted to go to the bar, and that's sort of the time limit for the game. Each turn takes 15 minutes, which we wanted to display on the clock on the wall, whether you every turn will then advance the clock, and when you reach closing time for the bar, which is around 3 a.m., then you'll get kicked out, and the person who is the least drunk, he will win the game because he can find his way home. All right. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be here.